Kia ora, hi. I know it's been a big day. My brain is addled, and so I will keep this really short because I know Brian has lured you in with red wine, so you'll see it get on. A huge thank you for today. It's been so inspiring, and I am very privileged to stand here today. I sit in the end user space with the dark sky. I'm privileged to have work in the space, and I'm continually learning. But I'm the person that sits out at night looking up in awe and wonder, and that's my happy place. But today...
Is the mic turned on?
Oh.
Is there a green light there?
There is a green light. Shall I just hold it better?
Yes,
okay. But today I'm here, I'm the coordinator of the Wairarapa Dark Sky Reserve Association, and so I'm going to take you on a brief tour of our journey. So, reflections on our journey to Dark Sky Reserve status. Our mission was to preserve, promote and protect, and the idea, and I always like to think of the seed of the idea came from three guys looking up one night, possibly drinking Pinot Noir, we will argue later on which is the best region, while looking up, and they suggested, is this something we should protect? That idea grew from a village approach to a combined district, with us taking a 6-year journey that ended up in the South Wairarapa and Carterton districts being accredited as a reserve in 2023. Obviously the Wairarapa is a huge destination, and hospitality is a big part of that, and the love of festoon lights has been a slight challenge, something that if anybody has worked in this space or encouraged people to think of other options, I'd be very welcome to chat over the next 3 days. We continually have conversations with our restaurant owners that love them at other options, but we also would love to have conversations about developing a business-friendly scheme, and it would be so much nicer to do that with other groups and users, so we can do this together as opposed to doing it solo. But it's definitely something we've been pottering away with over a little while. A big part of our journey was overcoming public challenges. Something that is very obvious in New Zealand is that a lot of people just look up and see amazing skies, and so there's a lot of people that take it for granted, and that has always been a challenge for us, and alongside the misunderstanding of what we're trying to do. As Ruskin said this morning, it's not about no lights, but we want to get better and smarter, and the misconception around crime and safety in the space is another huge one. The journey took us along, obviously needing a huge amount of support, and that was with the public, but also with council, and we went along the path of having to change the district lighting plan, which we achieved and was well supported by council. So we appreciate all the help that they give and the ongoing conversation of now, since the reserve status, what that means and what we can do and how we can improve. So we spent 6 years trucking along, and the focus when you're trying to get somewhere, and some of you in the room are doing this, is very focused. You're trying to get through all of the checks and boxes to get to the place. The end goal, our end goal being reserve status. We were accredited in 23, and it's quite a tandem shift, so we're slowly shifting to what maintenance, preservation and a change of narrative that brings. We're in that space, and we're currently still working out, and again connecting with people today in a room when there's a small group of volunteers and myself trying to navigate what that looks like. It's so great to be in a room today and have conversations with people that have done it and what they're doing, and to bat around ideas. Dark sky protection aligns with the broader conservation, and I think we've been fully inspired today of what that looks like. So we work together with different partners like our core group, Wairarapa Forest Park, and the conservation efforts they're doing. Wairarapa Moana was obviously mentioned earlier on in the day, and that the Ramsar status and the things that have gone on there are really important. And there's beautiful synergies with what we're doing and what they're doing. And so it's all about finding your friends and advocates, again, like being in a room today with so many people with inspiring ideas, and making that a much bigger conversation that benefits us all. Education on light pollution, which we've had in abundance today, But we beaver away. We've got an event coming up, and this is an example of an engagement event that we're doing, a movie night in a couple of weeks, with our More Design, which are a Wellington-based sustainable light company. And so they'll come over and talk to people, and we'll invite people along to watch the City Dark doco movie. So these are examples of little things that we do as part of our ongoing education and outreach programs. Looking to the future, for a big part of that is how we can work together, and I think the conversations I have with many of the people in the room, and up until today they've only been email recipients, but we have a big aspiration to work together so we can think of some of these things on a national level. But one of the big things that when my team had the privilege of agreeing to send me down here, Martin Weavers, our patron, gave me a wee letter, and he said, and I thought I would finish on this because mine's been so light and fluffy with some very pretty pictures from the Wairarapa Dark Sky astrophotographers. But this is a note from our patron, Sir Martin Weavers, on behalf of him and our committee. The current legislative and regulatory framework for addressing light pollution in New Zealand is inadequate. Indeed, the Resource Management Act, which is the process of being replaced by new legislation, doesn't even mention it. The gap must be addressed in the legislation to replace the RMA. Achieving that outcome should be a priority action point. In the view of the Wairarapa Dark Sky Reserve Association, artificial light at night should be governed by national legislation and environmental standards as soil, air and water pollution currently are. Noise pollution regulated and standards are established for enforcement at local council level. In the absence of a national light pollution regulatory framework, every community will have to mount its own efforts to persuade the local council to amend the outdoor lighting provisions of the local district plan. That is time-consuming, expensive and very inefficient. Much of New Zealand would qualify for dark sky protection under the DSI criteria. We need a much better pathway to rolling out the protection in short order to protect what we currently have before our current skies are lost. The Wairarapa Dark Sky Reserve Association supports efforts by the Royal Astronomical Society of New Zealand and other entities to achieve a national approach to dark skies protection. We are happy to contribute to those efforts. As an example, we would like to see all of New Zealand's national parks also accredited as dark sky reserves. The dark sky movement in Aotearoa enjoys wide community support. The inauguration of Matariki as a national holiday is recognition of this and should be seen as the first step on the path of us becoming a country that offers strong and widespread protection for our night skies. Our night skies deserve better, sooner, for cultural, historical, environmental, health and economic reasons. Thank you. And thank you from me. The challenge is on with Brian, whether Gibson versus Wairarapa wine is better under the stars, but I hope you enjoy the offering that he's providing today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation. And as someone involved with the group trying to make another application, I'm interested in hearing actually from both you and the previous speaker, Brian and others. You're talking about a lot of the difficulties, the burdens and things that come from putting these sorts of types of applications together. Our group, where we've invited Dark Sky Park and looking at doing Kaharangi, we've so far been able to avoid any sort of formal body. We're attached to the Nelson Strong Astronomical Society, but we see a lot of these groups, like yourselves, have trust established or some other incorporated society or something, have some sort of body that is being used. And I know that each one of these things comes with overhead in terms of having a treasurer and management meetings, all this types of things. And I'm posing this question to yourself and to others and similar folks to us in here. Could we benefit as having all of these different groups making efforts in the dark sky accreditation area by being joined together into one coherent body where we, instead of being divided up into 79 different little groups all doing the same thing, if we're actually all joined together into a single body so that that effort is reduced somehow. What are your thoughts, please?
I'm all about collaboration. I think when we worked, there's a group of beautiful people that had an idea, and they're all sort of usually very busy people, and then our group particularly employed a coordinator, which has been me. I've worked with them for 6 years and gone on the journey, and that is just to achieve some of the doing and the administration. But I agree that I think there are groups established, and I think to a degree that highlights the point of sometimes the connectivity of what's available is not sort of as widespread as we think it is, and you can be beavering away. So I think we need to all connect and make sure that we're all sort of connecting ourselves, and if we've got any hints and tips. But I think there is a place for a much bigger conversation in that, so we can support each other. But as I've had conversations today, it's a case of groups like you reaching out to groups like us and talking through what the challenges are, and if we can get you across the line or support you a bit further, then right now that's the easiest way to do it.
After the 2019 Starlight conference, we actually formed the Dark Sky Network. And a number of the aspiring dark sky places are members. Some of the newer ones haven't yet joined. And I must admit, with COVID and what have you, we have also not kept up more proactively. Steve Butler is the chair of the Dark Sky Group of Royal Astronomical Society in New Zealand. So he writes out a newsletter to these people. So the framework is in place. You can look up dsnz.org, and the idea was after this conference we were going to revive that and have Zoom meetings on a regular basis and have some of these talks, recorded talks repeated, etc. So the framework has been there for 5 years. We will bring it to life again more actively going forward.
Just in response to Jeremy's question about perhaps a central overview group, I think it's very important to maintain community acceptance and ownership. I think that's where your continuity is based. Your local bylaws, etc., depend on local community support. So it's probably a two-step process: local community control and then a national collective above that.
So quite a good discussion. Let's thank Carlo and